Spiritual Sunday.
It's a new year, so I have to reset my machine. Okay, discipline your will so as not to succumb to irresponsibility. Start small, maintaining order and efficiency in each endeavor. When you have a lot to do, don't waste time deciding how to begin. Start with the closest task and then move on to the next and so on until you have finished them all. Unless you take the first step, you will never reach the end. A lecture begins with the first word. Discipline is behind the success of all great achievements. Right? It's such a beautiful message for New Year. Okay, so let's start with our prayer today. Thank you, Father, for all that has been given to us. Thank you for this day and for reminding us that every day we can start new tasks, new resolutions, and help us with our will, help us to attune to our mentors while we are here, so that we set aside this time to attune to our great mentors, to great messages. So help us today to keep our focus, our mind, our life present throughout the lecture. And bless our speaker, bless our friends here, and above all, your will be done, not ours.
So be it. Can we? Let's pause the music. Good morning, everyone, here at home, whenever you are. So actually, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I am excited to be here. It's been a while. And I welcome all of you in flesh and in spirit. Today we will talk about trust. And I was inspired by the book A Full Life by Divaldo Franco and the Spirit, Joanna de Angelis. So we can together reflect a little bit on what trust is. How do we feel about trust? About trusting God, trusting others, and trusting ourselves. So let's go together. And we start by the definition. What is to trust? It is the firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. You can count on somebody. You rely and you trust that whatever it is, it's going to be there for you. It's going to take care of you or respond to whatever the person or the thing, that's just going to work. And when I think about trust, the first stage was relationships. How are we going to talk about trusting God if we haven't thought about our relationship? So let's start with this together, right? So when we think about trusting, what are your experiences with trusting? Just think for a moment. Do I trust? Do I have some trusting issues with my relationship with the spouse? What about work, friends? I have had some very complicated relationships, so trusting for me is a big deal. And I've trusted so many people, and at the end, something else happened. And now it's not that I don't trust anymore, but it's going to take a while for me to trust somebody again. So after friendship, after we do things together, I know we can count on you, you count on me. So I go, okay, I can trust Susanna now. After all these years, right? It took years. And I say, hey, I can count on her. I hope she feels the same towards me, you know. But this is something to talk about, to think. Is there anybody in your life that you don't trust? Is it somebody at work, in your family, friends? What is it? And the question is, why? Why we don't trust certain people? Well, there are many reasons. It could be childhood trauma. You suffer some trauma. You were expecting your parents or somebody to take care of you and trust, and the person failed. So you already have some trusting issues. It could be abandonment issues. It could be toxic relationship. It could be unreliable behavior. You can't count on the person. Past experiences. So, but the bottom line is, you don't trust this person because that person is evil, is mean. Now, remember, the same way that I'm talking about this, we think, oh, I know I don't trust this man. I don't trust my spouse. I don't trust this person. Now, keep in mind, there might be somebody out there that do not trust you either. Well, the reason is, come on, we are human beings and we are not perfect. We are not here judging. So now we have in the flesh this experience with trusting. And then you come to the Spiritist Center. And then you read the Bible. You go to your church or any, spiritual place that you go, and they tell you, trust the Lord with all your heart. Do you trust God in everything? Again, we are not judging. But we know, come on, we love God, or hopefully we say, I trust the Lord, I trust God, I trust the Creator, I trust the higher power. Right? But then something happens. And you keep saying you trust, but then we freak out. If we really trust, why am I stressed? I'm guilty. Guilty. I trust, I pray, and then I'm there, not sleeping. Or eating like crazy because of my anxiety or whatever it is. My body hurts. And why do we stress if we trust God? Do you stress when something happens? Even though you say, I trust the Lord that would take care of me? Well, why? So one of the reasons is because we find ourselves in a situation that feels out of control. We stress because we want to be in control. So when we know that God is going to take care of us, like He is in charge, we know, but we struggle because that means, here, God, you are in control. But we want to be in control. We are used to being in control. That's hard to let go. That expression, let go and let God. Okay, let go, let God, let God, let God. Oh, but it still is not the way I want. It is so hard. And then we feel out of control and mentally looks like a disaster is coming. We are afraid of what's going to happen. And we begin to believe in the feelings. I'm feeling with anxiety. Oh, something bad is going to happen. And then what do? We take away from God and turn the bad and negative feelings into a superpower. And that's very hard, right? And when we are involved in this feeling, we forget all about faith. We forget all the wonderful things about God that's going to take care of us. And when I say taking care of us, no, it's not only solve the problems, it's giving us the strength, giving us help to deal with it. But we get stuck in the feeling. Oh, and by the way, who said that was Stephen Berg. He's a fatigue recovery coach, so giving credit to the man, because I was reading and doing some research. What do? We trust the feeling and not God. I was reading this, I go, oh my gosh, I'm doing this right now. I trust the feeling that something horrible is going to happen. And I forget the trust and let go and let God because I don't want to let go. Because maybe if I let go, it will not happen exactly the way I want. And I insist in being in control. And it's pretty hard. So if we really trust and have faith, look at what the gospel according to Spiritism says. Sincere and true faith is always calm, which is not me. I'm like, breathe, Bernadette, be calm, be calm. It provides the patience that knows how to wait. And today we are in a society that is so hard to wait. We would never think right now. And when we go through some challenges, we don't want to wait. Come on, God, solve it right now. Come on, high speed. Because having its point of support in the mind and in the understanding of things, it carries the certainty of arriving at its objective. So if we struggle trusting God, and it's okay if that's how you feel right now, because you are working on it, right? Trust the process. I have so many friends with issues and me and work and I want to solve. But remember, we are human beings and not perfect. God is perfect. Loves us unconditionally. So if we have to go through certain things, trust the process. He knows. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's like you won't feel anything because we are human beings and full of feelings. But just let's not empower the feelings. And what about knowledge? God has been and always will be faithful. We just need to get our feelings to line up with the facts. What kind of facts? The fact that we never doubt the victory of the love of our Celestial Father, who watches over the universe and sustains it. During our harshest trial, we'll always receive unexpected resources, even if we do not request them. How many times? And I can guarantee you at home, you here, you are there, and suddenly the help comes. It could be through a message. You open the book and you have a message. Somebody calls you. Something happens. And here's one more reason to trust. But also when we say trust the facts, And Joanna de Angelis always talks about the knowledge, knowing. We also have to be aware of certain laws. For example, the law of cause and effect. So we trust God to take care of us, but we also need to take responsibility that if we are going through some trials right now, well, did I create that? Was I responsible for this? The next law is the law of attraction. If I keep thinking negatively, how things are going to get better? You're going to get stuck there. That means it's going to be happening over and over and over and over. And you guys, why my life doesn't change? Why is it always like this? Well, because you still keep doing this. And as a result, you're going to keep getting this. If you want to get that or better, then we need to change. And then don't blame God. So, if we want to good things, well, let's try our best to think positively. But it's not easy. No. And all we can do is practice, being aware. That's why Joanna de Angelis talks a lot about knowledge and awareness. So catch yourself being negative. I'm being negative I'm complaining. Okay, mindfulness. Let's start breathing. Catch yourself, because this is an addiction too. Now, another law is the law of sowing and reaping. You get whatever we sowed. And if you have the right environment, that's what we're going to get. Good and bad. So when we are in the pickle and we are like, what am I going to do in my life? Trust God that He's going to take care of you. We have to remember that we have also to respect these laws. Like Joanna says, knowledge plays a preponderant role in the course of life, as this process is established as part of existential programming. So now that we know, what are we going to do about it? There is one of the reasons that we have a lot of people out there that do not want to learn more about Spiritism. Because in Spiritism, we don't give you a guru. We say, hey, these are the laws. You have the support, the spirits, God, and everything else. But you need to do what in Spiritism? Can you read that? What does it say? Take responsibility. You do trust God. He's taking care of us. But let's take responsibility for what we do and what we say. Because it's also another law, is the law of progress. Right? Joanna de Angelis says, once the progressive journey has begun, each moment brings new experiences that provide knowledge and make it more beautiful. I love that she said that knowledge and experience is beautiful. He doesn't say, it's painful, it's hard. It's beautiful. When we learn something like, and we teach little kids, and we do science, and we teach something, and their eyes just like, it's magical. But it's science. And it's beautiful. So it's natural for a long journey to present obstacles, which are in turn challenges to overcome and help us to advance. Are you still awake? Everybody awake? Are you awake at home? All right, so help me to read this last one together.
Everything is difficult, especially because one must conquer unfamiliar terrain and be surprised by different views, enjoying the blessing of what is new and unknown.
Okay. I coloquei Joana de Angelis. I didn't want to keep writing her, so J.A. Our friend. Very, like we talk about Jesus Christ, JC. So she is the JA. We talk a lot about her. But look at this. Yes, it's difficult. But it's a blessing, the unknown and the new. And that's it. The unknown comes and we are like, ah, you know? So we talked about the relationship, the trusting in our relationships, trusting God, and here's the last one. Trust yourself. We deal with those three kinds of trust. Trust yourself. You have survived a lot and you survive whatever is coming. So yes, here, God helps me. God help me. I trust you. I let go. But take responsibility for our actions and do some work. Because we can. Just look in the past how much we survived. Trust yourself. You know more than you think you do. Plus, we talk about reincarnation. Come on. How many lifetimes we getting all this knowledge, okay? But the question is, why we struggle trusting ourselves at times? Number one? What's number one? We are, it's not in this order. We are afraid of not succeeding. We don't trust that we have the power. We imagine the worst possibility outcome for our decisions. It's the fear of the unknown. Oh, no, I'm not going to do it. I can't. Oh, it's so hard. All right, we need to do something. We need to build a wall. I don't have experience. I can't do that. It's so hard. No, what if it falls in your head? Right? When I was doing therapy, and I was always worried about a situation with my life, in personal life or work. Actually, this happened recently at work, and talking to a counselor. She says, what is your fear that this is going to happen? And then we go, okay, so right now, what you fear the most happened. And we start to describe all the horrible things that were going to happen. We listed. I'm going to lose the job. It's going to be this. This is what's going to happen with my daughter. This is going to happen with my husband. Feel it. How do you feel? Worried, stress. Okay, now you're feeling it. And if that really happens, are you going to die? No. Okay, that's a good thing. You're not going to die, right? What would you do? And then we start to create a plan. Number one, you're going to do this. Number two, you got a roommate. Number three, you're going to do this. 4. And I just said, okay, so now we lived through the worst scenario and you already know what to do. And believe it or not, that completely calmed me down. And she said, because you have the power and knowledge, she said, and I didn't tell you what to do. If that horrible thing happens to you, you are so knowledgeable and powerful that you already came up with the solution. I go, oh my God, right? We get consumed by second guessing and doubting ourselves. And when we doubt ourselves, we freeze. We don't take action. So think about anything in your life. Is it about the Spiritist Center? Is there anything? Is it about work? Your relationship? Is it your children? Your friends? Is it with your puppy? right? And we focus on failure. That it's not going to happen. No. So, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Trust yourself. How? By building on our strength. We already have strength. Build on it. Right? Like I have this thing drawing flowers. Poor my husband see me sitting down hours drawing, but it calms me down. And then I go, oh, but my flowers now are so plain. All right, let me look it up some drawing. What can it be differently? Should I use watercolor now? Build on my foundation and keep building. What is it that we need to add? Okay? Focus on past what? And positive experiences instead of the negative. Hey, but I've done this before. Oh, I know a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Love yourself. Practice self-compassion. Stop judging. God doesn't judge us, but we judge ourselves all the time. Stop judging. It's like, take action. I can do it. I'm a wonderful person. I have tons of talents. I can do this. Spend a long time to reflect. Now, the alone time doesn't mean watching Netflix or on the phone on TikTok or playing video games. Spending a long time to reflect, take time by yourself. Go to the beach, go somewhere, sit there for 10, 15 minutes. Leave your cell phone in the car at home because it's a temptation if you have your phone there. You in this beautiful nature and there we are on the phone. It's hard, I know. And reflect, what's going on in my life? What is one thing I want to change? How can I trust more God and trust myself, empower myself? And then the last thing, what you do? You set goals, reasonable goals, little, measurables that we can do, little. Otherwise, we'll feel overwhelmed, defeated, okay? And then the last thing that J.A. tells us, Joana de Angelis. Let's read the last message together. Ready? What matters most
is to always trust in the divine providence that never makes mistakes
or forgets to love the entire creation. Never makes mistake. Even when something happens to us and it feels like it's the worst thing, there is a reason. There is the process. Trust the process, but also take action. Trust. So think about trusting this whole week. Thank you.